health related aspects of our students. Vanchanadi, are you there?
जी
Yes, namaste
जी
and welcome
नमस्ते
to the
दीदी
session. Yes, and now you can take on. Vanchanadi, there's some kind of a, I think, network issue where we are not really able to hear you well.
जी जी बिल्कुल बिल्कुल so now since 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 we are very is the voice audible?
Your voice is not
Not
clear,
getting
madam.
voice?
Lagging. Vanchanadi, it's lagging a little.
Is my voice not audible?
Now it is audible.
Okay, okay. Okay, let me just check my network connection.
Manisha Di, you may welcome Professor Devi Kumar Swami. And,
Okay, yes. Till then, Vanchanadi
Please,
is
sir,
taking
you
care of.
are audible.
Of course.
Akhilesh, I'm audible?
A very warm welcome and namaste
Yes,
to
sir.
Dr.
Let
B.
me check my
Kumaraswamy, sir.
internet connection.
Of course, we all are very familiar with Dr. Kumaraswamy, sir.
Yes, madam.
Graduation in Ayurveda medicine in 1973, that's quite some time. From Government College of Indian Medicine, Mysore, and MD in Ayurveda in 79 from Government College of Indian Medicine, Bangalore, Karnataka. And Sir is a veteran of Ayurvedic expert with over 3 decades of experience. And that is going to enrich all the participants even more. So Sir has served as a professor and head of Indian medicine at Kidwai Memorial Institute of Oncology as a professor at Sushruta Ayurvedic College, Bangalore. At present, Sir is working as a director at Arogya Rishi on an online portal for consultation on all aspects of Ayurveda, uh, Avasthya, Arogya, treatment, medicine, delivery at the door globally. A very warm welcome to you, sir. And I'm sure the participants are eagerly waiting for your session.
Yes, madam. Thank you. Good afternoon, students. I'm audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. See, today afternoon, we are taking up almost conclusive type of information in which you can see returning body back to harmony. This is something is very important, having heard for the past several days. I would say for these young engineering students, these 2 weeks which has given, probably, if I am say so, something new, but which was already there. I have reiterated this several times. This is something that is we refer to as health, swasthya in Sanskrit and also Hindi. As the very word says, being in our own self. That position which the nature has given us from the time of birth. And after the birth, we tend to change our position. Like we have been listening to the astronomy now, all heavenly bodies are changing. We also tend to change, but that change is something about which we have to be cautious about. In case of astronomy, they are all regulated, but in case of us, our body is regulated, but not we. That's why we are drawing your attention today to something which you have to do as a duty if you want to be healthy. And if you do not want to be a prey for different kinds of problems and issues related to the health. I hope you have understood by this time that the body, the mind, and the other two important faculties together called self, that is consciousness, the ego, that is ourselves, and the mind, they have to remain in a state in which they are not to be easily disturbed. Even if there is a difference which can happen, because not everything is under our control. There are many things which is beyond your control. Even that which is not under your control, your body should be able to, your mind should be able to not resist, not just tolerate, but remain in such a way that it is not going to disturb too much from its balanced line. And in this balanced line, the word that we have been referring in most of the Indian languages, samatva, the balanced. You can even use a better word, a harmony. Because in case of this word harmony, body and mind have so many things, most of it we are not familiar. They have to remain in a very, very well coordinated dynamic activity. So, today let us try to understand when something goes wrong. As I said before, the health modules and proposals that we have been giving, if you are able to understand
Sir, we are unable to hear you.
Sir,
Please,
not getting your voice.
please
You are
unmute.
muted. You are muted, sir.
muted.
Yeah, now it is fine, sir.
Okay, yeah. So, today we will be giving you a little advanced information wherein whenever there is a disharmony due to so many possibilities, how to understand them and to how to overcome them, how to handle them in such a way that you get back to the harmony. So, when look at this slide now, Achilles, the first slide. I think you had just go behind. Yeah. Whenever there is a disturbance, next one, happening inside, body sends signals about the impending, not necessarily a disease, problems or issues much before the manifestation of the disease. You see, this is something which is very important. This is the reason that we try to impress upon you that every day morning when you get up, what you should do. One of the things that you should do is sit calmly, quietly, going into yourself, look at your body, look at yourself and see what is the situation. Then the body will interact with you. So in that interaction, body will show you that there is something wrong. This something wrong in terms of signals which you can experience. One has to be very sensitive. Let me also tell you that human beings are sensitive by birth in general. Only thing is, over a period of time, they are sensitive to what? That becomes a problem. So that's why we are now drawing your attention, be sensitive to yourself so that what we call as health can be in your hands. So body will show you in terms of different manifestations. That experience you try to see and then try to understand. If we observe these signals carefully, we can alter our lifestyle, the food, correct the disturbances and prevent any diseases from manifesting. All of you must have heard many number of times that prevention is better than cure. Well, we only know this, but what is prevention and how do you do that? Next slide. We will try to understand a few examples, not everything. Whenever disturbance happens, the body, it with the show it to you. For example, I'm lazy. You don't feel fresh. You don't feel something. That tears in yawning, fatigue. You do the late. You will see you talk, saying not in a position to do it. Don't disturb me, and you try. See, this is a laziness, uncertain, liking, disliking for hot, wind, water, etc. And importantly, the symptom which is too obviously digestion. The food that you can see that the don't feel it is digested. Anorexia is the loss of taste and appetite. Depletion and complexion. Your observers will tell you that something wrong. You are not fresh. These are some of the very commonest things that do happens. You can call some of these things you are likely to get. One of the possibilities is a fever. See, fever is not a disease, please remember. Fever is a manifestation of the body where it expresses that now I am acting. The fever is an action, effect of the action of the body. Because please remember, whenever there is a disturbance, body does not wait for you to act. This is what is the primary action from the body called the immunity. If your body's immune system is good, you sleep, you do whatever, body will start acting. It could be a microorganism, it could be a toxin, it could be your unwanted actions on the body. Everything body will see and attend and act. There are different lines of this immune system. You can also call different systems of defense, like our armies. They will act and they will not allow you to easily. Next one. Before going to the things like skin diseases, I would like to mention this very importantly. One of the main reasons why that we as health professionals with experience expect students and every faculty and everybody about health is that the health, the body is very intelligent. The mind is equally intelligent. Apart from this, you have another real faculty called intelligence. You are expected to use that intelligence, apply that intelligence with the data that you have been collecting from your observation. In this observation, you have to be very attentive, listen to the body, be very sensitive, and then analyze this data, why it could be. You see, lifestyle is one of the most important thing often in this century we have been talking about. Last one and centuries of our experience has given us the information that the man lifestyle has changed so much, partly because of the industrial society and partly because our attitude towards likes and dislikes over what is available to us. Of course, there is equal amount of influence of the environment. Putting all these things together, if you carefully observe, for 20 years, 50 years, 100 years, if you just carefully observe, the kind of life that we are leading today, the body had never used to this. They are all alien. Take for example in India, the alcoholism. This is quite alien to our culture. Very small segment of the people were exposed to this. Today, the percent is mind-boggling. Similarly, eating the kind of foods to which you are not exposed to, the kind of processes, the kind of chemicals that you bombard to your body, both without knowing, ignorantly, and without your knowledge, they are all bombarding to your body. So, what should be done? In fact, one of the things is you have to be a little more careful than before. Earlier people, they did not have all these problems like what we are having. For us, even today, and taking a small water, forget about milk, even water itself is an issue. When such is the kind of world that we are living, what should be our lifestyle? Contrarily, we have been adopting and living in a kind of lifestyle that things like cardiovascular diseases, kidney related diseases, hypertension, the diabetes, which every news channels, everywhere they are bombarding, they are all appearing as early as 40 years. The menopause in women is getting preponed, directly related to the psychological situations. So, because of all these things, the health as a concept is nothing to do with the medical industry, but it has to do something with us, the self. That is the reason in today's information, we are making you to more sensitive to understand that you have to be more responsible towards you. And this responsibility, remember, nobody else can handle. You have to handle. That's why. Give an example, for example, look at the slides about the skin diseases. It is again quite common today, very much common today. How you can recognize simple things like numbed skin patch. Numbed means where it is not sensitive. Excessive perspiration or absence of perspiration, discoloration and elevation of the patches in the skin. This in the one small different areas this could happen. Sometimes in a larger area, itching, continuous pricking pain, excessive pain in the ulcerated parts, instantaneous appearance and continued persistence of these ulcers, and burning sensation. Many of these manifestations, and something which we may not be even mentioned here, they could appear on the skin. Any such things can lead to regular diseases of the skin. So these can be easily observed. In fact, these are not diseases per se. I would like to insist. They are not diseases per se, but they are indicators of the forthcoming issues. For example, swelling is another thing. Swelling, edema, inflammation, these are the words that are used. Premonitory signs, as you can see, are increased temperature in a particular area, burning sensation, and dilatation of the vessels of the locality. You can make out when such changes do happen. In diseases like, for example, piles and hemorrhoids is a regular disease. They will show you initially with simple things like indigestion. But don't mistake, all indigestion will lead to that. No, indigestion can lead to many things, but this is one of them. Weakness, gurgling sound in the lower abdomen, emaciation. Emaciation is losing weight without definitive reasons, frequent erectations, weakness in the thighs, straining and voiding, less of stool, anemia. These are some of the symptoms. If collectively you could see, there are many situations which can occur, but one of the main situations, we are just giving us an example again, is the piles and hemorrhoids. Now, respiratory problems. Again, one of the commonest thing in our urban living, essentially because of the pollution, major thing. And of course, secondly, the lifestyle resulting in the poor immune system. These two collectively give rise to many respiratory issues. Constipation with flatulence, pain in the sides of the chest, pain in the cardiac region, and decline of the respiratory functions. These are manifested little earlier than the regular disease related problems of the respiratory organs. They could be two different reasons, but when this is there, you think that you are having some issue with your respiratory system. Cough and cold, very, very common situation. Most of these things, please remember, both of them are directly related to the environment on one side, and secondly, they are related to the food, particularly the food. Because the cold, most of the times, happens as an allergic manifestation. A feeling of congestion in the throat, itching sensation in the throat, obstruction to the movement of food in the throat, or difficulty in swallowing. See, when you observe this, the premonitory symptoms that you have given, you must know that the throat is the entry point for both food, and it is also connected to the ventilation. So anything which comes and obstruct there, the throat is the one which shows you first an immediate effect. Secondly, the vomiting. You see, when you see cold, cough, fever, vomiting, all these things you can see, body is telling you that there is something wrong. I am going to throw it out. That throwing of the body is vomiting. Please, whenever there is such vomiting or such symptom, instead of getting afraid or instead of getting unnecessarily annoyed, remember body is doing its job. So attend to that properly. For example, most often vomiting is the result of all kinds of nonsense that we eat, which is indiscriminate eating without any proper respect to the body is one of the important reasons. Just to give you example, I made a simple study when I was mainly working in the area of cancer. That has been my primary work. That I could see that the kinds of food that people are taking, if you make an analysis, 75 to 80% of the things people are consuming, particularly outside the house, they were never existed before. The ingredients used, that the kind of things that people using, the process that is being done, the kind of storage that is being done, all these things are alien to our body. So body immediately does not allow them. In such circumstances, you should be happy if body throws it out. So the nausea with uneasy feeling in the cardiac pain, it could happen in throat, it can happen in stomach, in the upper area, the esophagus, throat, everywhere you uneasiness, then excessive salivation happens, and you first thing that body says is aversion to food. Look at the beauty of the body. It shows aversion. If not, you will go and eat again. Again, you will create problem to yourself. But body doesn't allow. That is the intelligence that lies, which you should respect. Please. Any deviation from normal function of human body is an early indicator. That which is what I told you. It could be anything, any small little thing. To prevent the manifestation, dietary corrections, change in the lifestyle, and the home remedies will be useful. See, two issues here. One is symptoms that give you very early indications are the time to act. I have seen the period. There is a difference of almost 50 years between all your youngsters and me. That's why I'm telling you, I have seen a period when majority of all these issues which were not happening due to the kind of reasons today, it was all being tackled by our people within the house. They knew most of the things. Going to a doctor is the last resort. In fact, also please remember, most of the times doctors were all freely accessible. So there was a very good tradition in India that we have called home remedies. That also today we are going to touch upon that and also give you more information so that you can start this as a beginning of learning something again new. If the symptoms are not subsided, then we should know there is another important thing. You should know when you should approach the doctor. You cannot be a doctor for yourself unless you are well informed about it. So we are only telling you here, you are not to be a doctor for yourself, but you are a conscious individual of yourself, a conscious, intelligent individual to handle yourself, a conscious individual who has proper information about things that can damage your health. These are the important things. Okay. Next, the topic which we will try to cover you is the home remedies. A few information about this. Understanding home remedies very important. This is history of home remedies in the world. All civilizations, particularly India, is very, very long, and it is a very beautiful, well protected, evolved tradition. You see, our generation are not doing it. If you are not practicing it, it's our fault. And we did not protect this properly. It has remained only in few families here and there. Otherwise, this was a knowledge which was prevalent in every nook and corner, including the tribal pockets of our country. I have detailedly made this study about it. Is this an alternative to main therapy? Is the question. Is this an alternative to visit a doctor? Let me answer these questions. First one, is it an alternative to main therapy? No. Is this an alternative to visit a doctor? No. What are the limitations of? There are limitations. I will tell you. What are the methods or ways to practice it? You see, it is not an alternative at all, because we are using home remedies not when there is a full manifested disease, but we are attending the home remedies in the very, very beginning, when the disease has not yet shaken a complete shape. You can ask me, how do we understand about it? Yes, that's what I told you. The only way is it needs a continuous observed practice. If you have senior people at somewhere, including some medical professional, may be able to guide you and help you, particularly see, there are systems of medicine in our country which are very much used in these ways. So it is not a main therapy. Is it an alternative to doctor? No. Visiting a doctor is when there is a full manifested disease, or when you have an access, you do not know how to handle it, you have no idea, you do not have experience of people, better you go to a doctor. Unless you learn this thing properly, understand properly, there are limitations. That means not every problem, every issue can be attended by the home remedies. No. The methods, what are the methods to way to practice it? That is what we are going to just give you a beginning, a seeding of the information. So I would request those of you who are really serious and interested, use this as a base, use this as a beginning, then try to understand from experienced people. There are also books available, get more information. Probably you may also get certain kind of courses. I myself have added many YouTube channels, many such information. Use such information, reliable information, not unreliable information, and then start using them. So these are a few tips about how the home remedies develop, how it helpful to what extent. You see, it's very simple. Common sense will tell you that any animal, any human being, any living being, try to observe the street dog. You will be surprised if you have observed. Whenever there is an upset of health to a street dog, do you know what it does? It simply goes to grass and eat a particular grass or whatever available grass. As you know, dogs cannot eat, it is not its food. But when it is not well, it will go and eat the grass, and within few minutes that grass will produce vomiting. So it will brings out everything. You can see it on the street, and the vomiting is an important method of treatment actually. Even as a therapeutic study used, then its digestive system will become all right. All animals have different kinds of such manifestations, such practices. which nature has given them. So the home remedies has born out of that innate knowledge. We call this vidya, natural vidya. Out of that, these things have developed, including understanding plants around you, its qualities, where it has come from. There was no such encyclopedia available thousands of years back. It's all out of their experience and that innate necessity. How it is helpful and to what extent? It's absolutely very helpful. There are very, very simple things. Simply, I'll give you an example. Water, good clean water, cold water, boiled water, steam. Only with these three, a knowledgeable person can treat many conditions as home remedy. But you require that knowledge. As simple as that. Just boiling water, drinking them hot without addition of anything can try to take care of many, many digestive problems, many, many respiratory problems. Only hot water. In India, hot water has been considered as a very wonderful remedy, but you have to use right time appropriately. Home remedies is an outcome of a very long experimental knowledge passed through. The knowledge is passed not by theoretical teaching, but by demonstrating it practically. We all have learned like that, looking at our grandmothers. It is boon for us, but at the same time, it can be dangerous if not practiced properly. I told you this. At present, it can be learned under the guidance of experience. Particularly, Ayurveda has enormously because one of the oldest systems in the universe, not just India. Because it was so much practiced and so much well understood, it is a home remedy per se in almost all traditional families and houses. All your kitchen items. So this is the wonderful aspect that all of you know, which I'm going to tell you now. Our kitchen is a beautiful pharmacy. It may just look like something only to cook, but for us who know to making this kitchen is a wonderful pharmacy. Surrounding plants also very potent medicine if you know how to use it. In the areas like for example Northeast, our Western Ghats, a lot of these mountainous areas, most of the plants growing there, people will know about it. You don't have to teach them. They don't need any great books for that. Even the names, they have wonderfully know them. Many a time, names itself will give you a pharmacological property also. Such wonderful is the tradition. Sincere efforts is necessary. You should never be misused. So the kitchen, most important thing. Okay, so this looks like a small, okay, yeah, you can do that. Some useful tips and common remedies. You see, the digestive system, what you eat with intention or without intention, with a beautiful food, a very nice home or whatever it is, ultimately the digestive system, which is the main culprit that we have created. The system is not the culprit. Because you load all sorts of things, and one of the commonest manifestation there is indigestion. So first we have taken that. The indigestion itself is the first foremost thing. Carefully go through all of them. Or probably afterwards for you these slides will be available, which you can make. Now don't write anything. Try to listen and try to understand. Simplest possible thing is the ginger. In fact, the word used in Sanskrit for ginger, you will be surprised, is Vishwabheshaja. It's a remedy for everything, every kind of problem, ginger can be effectively used. But the most effective use is always in the digestion. There are many methods which you can use. This is the simplest thing. The raw ginger just crushed either with a salt or a jaggery and just take it with a cup of water, warm water. That should be enough. You can extract the juice, mix with the honey and use it. Only thing is, remember, when you do this, you must know the age is an important factor. How much quantity you use. This should all comes by experience or by the tradition. For the children, usually mothers and grandmothers will know a few drops only. For a middle aged, 20 and above, it has to be used at least about 5 ml, 5 gram. You take the juice and make it. Second important thing available in the kitchen is the jeera, the cumin seeds. Cumin seeds and the ginger, there is a difference. The difference, simple only one, for example, I will tell you, ginger can be an irritant. It can produce a bit of inflammation. That's why when it is used, usually we try to make a decoction and then add the milk to reduce that irritability. Very slight milk. If not, when in case of an indigestion, when milk is not really good, you make the juice dilute. That's the simple tricks. Whereas the cumin seeds is a non-irritant but helps for the digestion. Even with this, you can prepare either a dry powder can be consumed with bit of honey or sugar, or you can cook it with water, precoct the decoction and used. And the pomegranate, among all the fruits available, pomegranate is one fruit which can be used in many conditions as a home remedy. In this case, we are using the fruit juice itself. You can add a bit of salt. If black salt is available, fine. Otherwise, our ordinary salt is enough. About 10 ml of a juice should be enough. Depending upon the condition, we can repeat it several times. Similarly, there are many things like cinnamon you can use. You can coriander seeds, dhania can be used. Okay, clove can be used, and lemon juice is a very important thing. Is something which almost everybody knows, that can be mixed with things like jeera sometimes or with the salt. So it can be used as a very good home remedy in the indigestion. Abdominal pain is the second possibility in the indigestion, most often connected to the indigestion. You can make a differentiation, a simple kind of a understanding that these two are associated. The pain will be usually due to the indigestion. So the same medicines which we told you for that we can be used here. Some addition will be necessary to relieve the pain and also the gas, etc. Ajwain, hing, the asafoetida powder. These are two important things which are available to you in the kitchen. If the pain is due to diarrhea, for example, then you have to use some other things. The same asafoetida can be used and with water, sometimes even with buttermilk, and you can use that. Somp, all of you are familiar. The somp with buttermilk is something which will relieve the abdominal pain as a home remedy. Then the avla fruit, the gooseberry fruit is another thing which can be used. And the next important thing in the digestive system is the loss of appetite. This is again very common. Sometimes if the system is functioning very well, it will throw away all unwanted things in the terms of loose motions. You will get relieved. If this does not happen properly, then you will have a loss of appetite. This is again, sometimes there will be no other symptoms. There will be no pain. Only you don't feel like. Particularly the tongue will lose the taste of. In such circumstances, these are some of the medicines. Again, same ajwain, you can use them properly. Ajwain is very important thing here. Hing and jeera powder and bitter gourd. Go through these slides. Pepper and honey. See, pepper is a bit irritable substance. That is why when you use the pepper, only a pinch should be used, and honey is compulsory, or you can use with ghee. There is a care that we take normally not to irritate the systems. Then there are many things. Lime is also used, a very important thing. Somp is an important thing. Even tulsi can be used. Bit of a discrimination may be needed. The third most important thing, common problem, is flatulence, the gas problem. For gas problem, two important things. One is somp, second is this garlic, and third most important thing is the jeeraka. These three, generally, combinations will bit vary. Sometimes with milk you can use, cooking them with the milk. That's what we mean. Adding water, not just milk. Equally, they have to be added. There are methods. Probably we are going to tell you that. And diarrhea. See, the diarrhea, a bit of information is required, so I will not go very deeply into that. Whenever there is a diarrhea, the tendency of the people is to see that it should be stopped. Let me tell you, in the very beginning, you should not be stopped, because diarrhea is a reflection of our system getting out of unnecessary things, toxins, etc., undigested food, everything will have to go away. When this diarrhea continues, you lose lot of water from the system in terms of liquid going away, then it requires to be stopped. That is the situation when you have to contact the doctor. Otherwise, you can use, I think now very much advertised thing, water with sugar and salt. If you keep continuously, whenever there's a lot of water is going away, this is called the oral hydration. It is very much ORS is another word that is used. Just prepare it in the house and use it. It will be controlled if it is due to indigestion, etc. If it is more, then you have to go to the doctor. This is how you have to make a differentiation. This is one medicine available for you in the house. Pomegranate, the skin is another one, which is a remedy, home remedy. So the many home remedies are there. I think we are very close into the time. So I will try to run. Hyperacidity is another very common thing. 90% of the time, what we see in the practice is hyperacidity is due to indiscriminate kind of foods that you eat outside. That will definitely increases the deficiency, and hyperacidity can be a disease also. But when it's a full-fledged disease, you require a systematic treatment. When it happens due to the things like food, then some of these things can be very helpful. Again, pomegranate juice, a very good thing. In that you can add certain things, particularly milk, the gooseberry juice, and avla and all these things, and jeera. Again, cumin seeds is a very good important thing in hyperacidity. You have to prepare properly a decoction with the water and a bit of milk. A lighter way of decoction be prepared. Tender coconut is another thing which will be available, which is the simplest thing to do in the hyperacidity. Vomiting. Vomiting is, again, as I told you, can occur due to many reasons. Even traveling, some of the people will get it. When there is an increase in acid in the body, some people get acid, vomiting. It can also happen due to the stress. And the simplest and the common home remedy for this is elaichi, cinnamomum and elaichi, the cardamom and cinnamon. Please remember them. And very small quantity is enough, both of them. You can also use the elaichi's skin, burn them and convert into ash and keep it in your house. If you give repeatedly with honey, that will take away the vomiting. Another commonest thing which is used in the houses which you can keep is the feather of the peacock that can be burnt, converted into ash and keep it at home. That's the simplest home remedy you can use. Lime juice is the commonest remedy which most people know. Depending upon the need, either you can use salt or even the sugar in small quantities. It is not like drinking one whole cup a day. It's not like that. Constipation. Constipation is again another commonest problem. Again, it is related to food. An improper digestive system which has resulted because of long-term wrong practices of food. And such situations only you can use. There are a number of remedies. One of the important remedies is the gooseberry. Second commonest thing which is known as harda. Harda is available, and in North India it's very well known. In South we call the use as adalekai or haritaki. This is available in the market also in the form of powder. This alone can be used, or triphala is another thing which can be used. And for children and the youngsters, another commonest thing please use is that dry grapes. Eat them, just chewing and eat them, and have a half cup of milk at the bedtime. The constipation can be relieved. It's the simplest thing. Hiccup, uh, the simple remedy that you are showing, this all of you are familiar. This is the elaichi can also be used, and cloves can be used as home remedy. Uh, Bleeding gums, fine amla powder should be gently massaged to gum, etc., etc. And the pinch of pepper powder mixed with honey, mixture of ginger, pepper, rock salt, honey, etc., etc. They should be very nice powder, and ghee can be a good combination with that. Toothache, bad breath, and sunstroke, dehydration, fever. These are all things which is usually, you can see, is all due to whenever there's an increased temperature and sun is very strong, summer is very strong. In such conditions, one of the simplest and best remedy is coriander seeds. Tender coconut, please remember. Tender coconut is a wonderful remedy in many of these conditions wherever there is a more of a sun and heat, etc. Now the fever also, the same dhania can be used. And now haldi, turmeric. I think all of you are aware of its international implications when it was found out about this simple thing that's sitting in our kitchen. You see, it looks like such a simple thing, but it is not only a wonderful remedy, but it is also a very potential medicine. It has to be very, very carefully used. It can be used as simple as cold and as complicated as diabetes. That's why very small quantities you can use in different forms, particularly with the ginger in terms of when it is cold. This is available in food. Normally we use it, and it can also be, you can prepare some decoctions along with things like methi, turmeric, and dhania together in case of cold. Warm milk and sugar also can be, and even you can prepare with water as a decoction and use it. Cough also. Now, next important thing, little elaichi powder with a teaspoonful of honey. Cough, you remember there are two types of cough generally. One is with the phlegm, and second is the dry cough. You have to be little careful in using whether this should be used or that should be used. Whenever there is a productive cough, when the phlegm is there, remember ginger is an important remedy. If it is a dry cough, then it is better to use other things like elaichi or cinnamon, not the ginger. Crushed garlic also with the water, boil with sugar. Clove is another important thing in this cough. Tulsi, we have not mentioned it. Tulsi is very good in productive coughs. Sinusitis, nasal block, ache and pains, headache. I don't know how much time we have. See, every one of them needs minimum 10 minutes of explanation. So I cannot really go and take it into everything. This cinnamon can be used in all these conditions. Ear pain, see, tulsi is an important medicine. Yen, well, many of you may be asking many questions with this. Paste of dadima seed should be applied after effect part. Application of haldi paste, use of haldi with water, milk or cream. 5 ml the Karela juice in empty stomach internally. Basically, yen is a manifestation of your increased toxins in the body. Sometimes it is also due to the age where the hormonal factors are there. You need medication only when it is beyond, when it is too much. In a very little thing is there, you bear with that. Don't unnecessarily get into treatment and all kinds of things. Black pigmentation is something which in the beginning you can try with our medicines that I have told you here, even the allergy conditions, all these things that you make use it for 2 days or maximum 3 days. Observe well they are responding. If they're responding, if you are not happy, then only you go to the aloe. Okay, Akhilesh?
Yes, sir.
Uh, there
Yes,
is
sir.
some difference of the slides I was thinking.
Yeah.
Aloe. Wounds and ulcers and burn, this is a very, very remedy. You can just grow in your small little pot. Just cut it. Inside there will be a liquid that can be applied in all these conditions. Okay. Dandruff is a serious thing which we will not take now. It a little later. Pain, hoarseness of voice, words, etc. The is a very important remedy. Some voice problems are there, then you have to take again Shunti, as I told you, is a Vishwabhechara. You use in many conditions. If you don't know anything to use, ginger can be a safe thing along with the honey. Very safe remedy. It doesn't produces any problem that you intestinal worms is something I think home remedy outstretched. Then in the stress, for the stress, what is the home remedy? One is internal, external application of 25 to 50 grams of Indian gooseberry fruit ground in buttermilk. The aroma of cinnamon is another very important thing for the stress. The best home remedy is oil bath. Apply oil, head, also on the body. Remain for about half an hour. Take a nice bath. Your stress should disappear unless it is beyond your control, the mental stress. Then memory, for memory, use of ghee every day in children. Remember, ghee is something on which there is a lot of negative information was there for a long time. Ghee prepared from our local desi cows, which is basically a very good, it's not about it, particularly for children in the growing age, when the brain development is taking place from 0 to 5 years, you have to use liberally the ghee. Without ghee, don't give any food. That is very important thing. Don't have any wrong information about it. I cannot give you because of time. Otherwise, even in other after 5 also, for every human being, at least minimum of 1 teaspoon of ghee. You do not know what it does. It is an amrita. It's such a wonderful thing, and our tradition has given a highest place for that. So please respect it and use it. Joint pain, obesity, body ache. Okay. Common cold, I think, Akhilesh, next, common cold and flu. If you experience any of these things, meet your doctor. Go to the slides quickly. I think diarrhea, headache, we have covered, I think, problem, dental problem. Akhilesh, run the slide. Next, general rules. I think some of them are repeating here. Okay. You see, when the intensity of the disease is severe, or the symptoms goes on increasing, when you are doing all these things, that is the time you must immediately, without wasting time, you must meet your physician. Any problem when not subsiding even after 3 days, maximum is 3 days. Oh, observe day one and day two, you see, observe that, and then meet your doctor. Any problem when not subsiding even after 3 days of initial care, and the problem is referring, you have to go. Even if the symptoms have subsided and overall condition is not active as the previous, that means things are not getting back to normal completely, then you will have to visit the doctor, the experts. That is very important. Okay. Akhilesh, any more? You can take questions. Yeah, there are one more slide. If you experience any of these symptoms, meet your doctor. Painful swallowing. Yes. Ear ache. A cough that lasts more than 2-3 weeks. Persistent or severe vomiting. A fever that does not go down or go away. Symptoms that last more than 8 to 10 days. Well, not even that, even before that, one has to meet the doctors. In diarrhea, you don't not question of days. The 3 days is also more. Your observation, if it comes down slowly, quantity and the intermittentness, the frequencies, observe that, then it is okay for 3 days. Otherwise, if the person is becoming weak, he is doing get related, you are not doing proper ORS like giving water, etc., then don't neglect that. Headache, I think, is a very big headache itself is a headache. We shall have to deal with in the exclusive sessions. Okay, what is this? Digestive issues, I think we have covered. Some of these things like bleeding from lesions affected areas in the skin, pus discharges, numbness, discolored patches, non-healing ulcer. This is very important. The healing should start, the ulcer should start healing. If it doesn't, if it spreads, it calls for attention. Excessive itching, foul smell, recurrent lesion associated with any other problem, they all needs not home remedy but medical attention. Then dental problems, again, the cavities, bleeding gums, excessive toothache, non-healing mouth ulcer or recurrent of mouth ulcer, excessive dryness and discoloration of the tongue. These call for medical attention. Eyes, again, you see, you cannot take liberties with the eyes, particularly excessive lacrimination, redness of the eye, blurring of the vision, non-healing lesion, difficulty in reading from the normal distance. So these are all to be attended. Underweight, obesity, anemia, these are not the conditions where we advise home remedies. They all require medical attention. Here we are only telling you because these are all the situations which occur quite frequently and commonly in our modern day lifestyle, particularly the obesity, overweight. Then the back pain. See, when there is a back pain, these are all the things which can occur. So you require head injury is not at all something which you can even think of doing any kind of a thing other than just stopping the blood with whatever means you have. A woman's monthly period can have a big impact on her life, especially if they're, yes, this is an area which require a detailed attention and study and attention. So I don't think we can deal with that much here. Next. Mental health issues. Well, mental health, like a physical health, it itself is a very big area. That again, there are a lot of traditional things that we do in the very simpler kind of a problem, even kind of a counseling within the house, and various things in traditional practices that can be used. But when it is beyond control, beyond regulations, then these things will happen. Observe, these are the symptoms, particularly things like depression, overexcitement, and things are. Yeah. Remember, mental related issues can result in the symptoms in the body, and the symptoms in the body can have a counter reaction on the mind. These two things happen, and they are very commonly known also. Simplest thing, if you observe, if you are over worried, over excited, you are so much stressed out, you don't feel like eating. You lose the taste. This is with the body, and the problem is in the mind. Opposite also true. Okay. So in such situations, a senior member of the family it would be very alert. The intensity of disease, yes, I think this is a repeated thing. So the home remedy, let me tell you, is only to be used when you know that the problems are not very, very serious and it has not a long period of time. It has just occurred. It is simple, and you try to do that. And as far as possible, unless you know the things properly and learn them appropriately, don't venture. That's a very important thing. And secondly, not the least, perhaps we are ending our all the programs. Health, our concentration should be more on understanding, prevention, promotion, stabilization of our swasthya condition, and then the prevention, and then the home remedy. That's how the frequencies, not this right away. Even when there is a issue with anybody in the family, a senior member of the family should have a very good open eyes and observation and sensitivity and enough of information and the data and the experience. All these things are very, very essential, and then you can apply them. And also be careful to see that for a medical attention, something is already ready. Whenever is required, you can go. But second thing is home remedies. If you practice them, learn them properly, and understand, even to understand the situations that occur, then you can go a little bit beyond, which is possible, but not with a very lay knowledge and inferior and improper information. That should not be ventured. So the health, finally, I want to tell you to the words of my young friends, health is something which the nature has given you as a property. Nature has given you as a very good presentation along with the body, and respect it properly. Don't do anything indiscriminately. Whatever you do, when you go out of the house and drink or do or play or whatever you do, be judicious, be very, very sensitive and attentive. Take a judgment, and the judgment should be taken by using your natural intelligence that is given to you. Don't go with the mind. Mind is always a culprit. It always tells you do this, that. Mind does not have much of discrimination power. That's why when mind and intelligence will be properly combined by the ego, we call it a self. So if you are rooted in yourself, you act judiciously with intelligence, then whatever you do is always good to you, conducive to you. Don't just go after the pleasure. Pleasure is not the only thing in life. If you want the pleasure to be there always, continuously, that remains with you are, then you must use your judicious power. Let me wish you all a good health. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, there are some questions. Shall we
Yeah.
ask
Yes,
our
madam.
participants for the questions?
Certainly.
So our participants can now ask the questions quickly. Pragati? Pragati?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, beta. Any questions?
What is the difference between heartburn and acidic reflux?
It's not clear, madam. The audio was not clear.
Pragati, be loud, beta.
No,
What
there's
is
a
the difference
distortion.
between
Distortion is there.
heartburn and acidic reflux?
What is the difference between? Once again, repeat, beta.
Heartburn and acidic reflux.
Beta, we are not
So
getting
what
your
is the
voice.
difference between heartburn and acid reflux is what she is asking.
Okay.
Okay.
Heartburn and acid reflux.
See, the heartburn is the next effect of your acid reflux. When acid reflux takes place, after that the acid comes to the esophagus and do an inflammatory problem, then you will feel that. They are basically not much of a difference. It's a resultant of the other. The problem is usually it will be in the stomach.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Any other question?
Shailendra?
So what are the contents of the, commonly used home remedy Ashtachurna for indigestion?
See, I never recommended you to take something like an Astachurna unless you are an advanced user of a home remedy.
No, sir, because whenever I have related
You,
issues, my mother
you take it.
always, gives me
Okay.
Ashtachurna with
Yeah.
curd. So I was
The
just asking.
main ingredient is hing,
Okay,
ajwain, 2 types of cumin seeds, then
okay,
the rock salt.
okay.
These are the main remedies. There are 2, 3 things more are there. Hing is the main. It's a very good remedy if you know about it. You know how to use it. How do you use it?
Sir, what my mother does is she
Yeah.
takes a small amount of curd and a little bit of Ashtachurna powder and she stirs the mixture and gives it to me if I have indigestion or diarrhea.
See, the best way to take it is you should take it in the beginning of the meal
Okay,
with a bit of 1 spoon of ghee
Okay.
And about 5 grams of powder, mix it with whatever food you have. Preferably, it should be hot. That is the best way to take. Beginning of the meal, not in the end.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Otherwise, it is a very good remedy. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Like on indigestion, like after the meal, when before I'm going to eat the next meal, suppose if I feel my, stomach is
Yeah.
not, I feel extremely full, or, I feel that I feel
Yeah.
stuffed. My mother always, gives me Ashtachurna.
Better, again, I will tell you, with buttermilk, not curds.
Okay, sir. Thank
You
you.
should be churned with the buttermilk, and that is the best way to take. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Well, we'll take quickly one more question, Mr. Mukund Prasadji, and to inform our participants, we will be soon hearing from Professor S.K. Kagji from 4:30 onwards. So,
Okay.
Mukund, you go ahead with the question, beta.
Sir Mukund from Bangalore.
Yeah.
So you are a professor in Kidwai, right? So which were
I was.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So which were the particular cancer disease? I mean, part which were you seeing?
I didn't catch. Please repeat the question.
Which was the most cancer patients were you seeing, like throat cancer or something like that? And what do you ask to take precaution or something like that?
Are you asking that which is the commonest type that we were saying in the hospital?
Yeah, in Kidwai.
Yeah. See, in not only in Kidwai, entire India, first and foremost type of cancer for us is the stomach cancer and esophagus cancer in men,
Okay.
and then lung. And in the women, the commonest cancer is cervical cancer, is the most important cancer, followed by the ovaries and the breast.
So what precautions do you think which will minimize it, sir?
I don't think I can even talk a word about it in this point of time. It's so little time. There is no such easy thing to do. Follow the best possible, cleanest possible life. That's all I can, one word I can tell you. Clean, purest possible life you can lead, you can prevent all cancer.
And do you think continuous treatment of Akshay Darpana will help in eyesight, sir?
Yeah, Kshitarpana, if you know it properly and use it, certainly it will help. For what and how you are doing, I think we have said it in our this thing. In a very carefully, if you do that, it will be very helpful.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Pranav Prasad. Pranav Prasad Lalat.
Good evening, sir. So in most of your home remedies, there was gooseberry, and I've seen two different types of gooseberries. One which is spherical in shape, and one which is more like a star. So is there which one should I use, and is there like a difference between?
See, the gooseberry, the standard gooseberry, is the one which is big in size and green. It means ripened nicely. There is a smaller variety that we don't use as much for medicine. Where are you from? Which area? I can tell you the proper name also.
Okay. I live in Bangalore.
Oh, then our what we call as better than Nellikai. That is the proper one. The big one that you get in the market.
Can you just repeat the name?
Better the Nellikai.
Okay.
Nellikai is the name.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Since there are still some hands, but we have some limitation of time, we'll just take this last question from B.S. Manjunathji, and then we'll move ahead with our session at 4:30. So Manjunathji, if you have some quick questions.
Yes. Thanks, sir, for giving such a wonderful home remedies for various problems, sir. My question is it right to drink water immediately after lunch or dinner?
It is, but how much you drink is important. You can have, but you should not drink too much of water after your food.
Immediately after the dinner?
Immediately after food, then you can take only not more than half a cup maximum.
Okay.
You shouldn't load too much of loading. See, remember one thing, whenever you want to take water, it is not out of compulsion, but out of the demand from the body. The body should ask you that I need water. Unless then, don't drink water. It is simple.
Thank you, sir.
Okay? Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kumaraswamy sir. It has been such an enriching session, even though we are ending this eSIP tomorrow, but we are going to miss these health sessions. It became such an integral part of our evening from 3:15 to 4:15 every day. We were getting this dose of health, and all of us were getting so much of information so that each one of us can ensure health within ourselves and with minimalistic efforts, just by looking at the signs which we get from body and taking care of these indications, we could ensure this. So it was really wonderful hearing from you. uh, Thank you very much, sir. It was really a very learning experience